Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome back to Let's Play Blood Omen Legacy of Kain for the Sony PlayStation 1. In the last video, I found another beacon, and I finally found a way to get into Nupraptor's retreat. But now we're deep in here, and we gotta go forwards in order to go back. This particular area has 4 places to go to, and you have to go through them all in order to continue. Just pick a corner, walk into the switch, go through the door, and you'll have something to do. For this room, we walk up to this painting to hit the switch, and then we go into the teleporter pad right here in the next room. Now for this area, do not use magical light. Instead, follow the lit areas. Walk around the center so you can hit the switches. If you don't hit a switch and open up a new lit part of the path immediately, just move around in the part that is lit, and you'll eventually find the floor switch that you need to trigger. If you go anywhere outside of the path, you will be teleported back to the start, regardless of where you are. And if you use magical light, instead of doing this like I'm doing it right here, you'll have no idea where to go, and you'll have to wait for it to wear off before you can do anything. And it shouldn't be long now before we reach the end here. Right there's the end, but we still need to follow the path. Like so. And here is a flask of blood. Let's go ahead and have a sip of that. So that way we'll have a little more health when we get out of here. Now for this part. These things are only for decoration. You don't have to worry about placing anything in those little windows there. Just hit the switch and go through this next door. You can do these corners in any area that, any order that you want, by the way. And I don't like the look of that, so I'm going to switch to natural light. Or magical light, rather. It's a good thing I did, because I can see all the zombies coming in much more clearly. And just like that, we've taken care of them all. And we opened something up right there, apparently. Did that do anything? I bet it did. Maybe that opened up something else. I'll go back, just to be safe. Doesn't look like it did. Of course, if you go through here again, you will have to do all this again. At least the enemies will now have magical blood. Not like it's going to make that much of a difference. Yeah, it didn't really make much of a difference, but it's a good thing that we did. I'm guessing that we're actually triggering the torches just to say, hey, we finished this part. More than likely. Anyway, for this part, okay, we need to go through the rooms, and we need to be careful as we do so. We have another time ability there, and we need to hit the switch near the statue to open up the next room. Now, when we get this energy bolt thing, or when we're about to, we'll trigger the zombies. Now I can get this and have Kain tell you what it is.
When conjured, the energy bank permits me access to mass amounts of magical energy for a brief period of time. However, when the moment passes, I will be drained of all magic, unable to cast even the simplest of spells.
Interesting. So by using the energy bank, you can have infinite magic for a short period of time. Of course, you'll lose it all once it wears off, and you'll have to wait for your magic to recharge, or find some energy orbs for your magical energy, whichever comes first. More than likely, you're going to have to recharge that way, but it can be useful against certain enemies. And now we're going to go over here. And now we're going to take care of all these guys. Get that. We're going to open all these doors. We're going to have these guys popping up as soon as we enter this room, apparently. And now, I can go ahead and... Nice. I can go ahead and suck all of the women chained to the wall here dry, so that way I can get their life force and continue on. And now that we have gone through the first 3 corners, we're going to go here last. This one is quite possibly the most annoying to deal with, unless you know what to do. So for starters, we're going to switch to our... Or maybe not. Maybe not. Believe it or not, there are 4 switches. And if you hit both of them in the corners there, you'll eventually make it so that you can get over here. Now we need to switch to the wolf form. And hit this switch. Then we need to get back into our human form. And we need to be very careful about what we do. The spikes go in and out in a little pattern here. And you don't want to go too fast so that way you don't get hurt. Thankfully, by paying attention a little bit, you can tell which of the spikes are up and which of the spikes are down. The little white lines will be longer if the spikes are up. And I want to grab this. Grab this. And then get on the teleporter pad to get back to where we started. And now we have all 4 of these torches lit, which means this door's open. Now to get further into the retreat. We got the guys with the spell books again, so we want to be very careful. And we also want to get rid of these guys whenever we can. Now, if we go to the south and hit this switch that is to our right, we can move into it. There we go. We got rid of the blue glow. We hit the switch. And believe it or not, we hit secret number 12. So now that we've reached another secret, I want to cross it off on the list here. And by hitting that switch, we opened a door that we're in front of right now. By hitting that switch, we're able to get in here and get the 5 flays. And of course, we also get to deal with these enemies. And I wanted to get health back from him, and I guess that's not going to be possible anymore. No matter. Oh, you know what? Okay, no, I'm thinking the next part of this. Yeah, let's go through this door first, and then we'll do what I thought of a couple seconds ago. Now, to the north is Nupraptor. we don't want to go there yet. Instead, we're going to want to go to the south, and there are some things that we can do. By going to the south, we can get a blood vial to increase our maximum health, and by taking the route to the right, we can get a magic rune to increase our magical energy. And by going through this door in the center, we get this new spell.
Should this object strike an enemy, rot and decay would instantly eat their flesh and leave only a pool of blood and tissue. For a time after, the toxins are still active and therefore lethal to the touch.
Well, more of a magical object rather, but this one makes enemies decay if it hits them, which is interesting. Not sure if I want to use it, but it'll be there in case I do. And by going through this teleporter pad, we'll meet Nupraptor. Almost messed up his name right there. Right after getting some very useful things, of course, this pad right here will take us to Nupraptor proper. After we save our game. So I'm going to save the game. Might as well, since I don't want to come back here for the secret anymore. Alright. Now to go through this door.
So, Malik, have you come to fail the circle once more? Leave, Paladin. I do not need your protection. Come, Kain. Come, share my pain.
And after meeting Nupraptor, we're able to go through this door to the north. Once we do...
So, this was the mentalist Nupraptor, this broken, pathetic little man. Yet crippled as he was, he would not yield without battle. Very well, old fool. If it is death you seek, I will not deny you.
We get ourselves a nice little description of Nupraptor, and we get to take him on in battle. Now these balls of energy, you want to move past them. The purple ones are the ones that disappear. And once you smack Nupraptor around, he will switch to one side of the room. As you go through this, the energy balls will change direction, and spikes will pop in and out of the floor where they weren't there before. If you don't have a way to get away from the balls, just go all the way to the far ends, and you can wait for them to disappear completely. Now for this part. Watch the skulls. Oh. Just watch where everything goes. Not exactly the best way I wanted to do that, but it worked. After 2 more hits, Nupraptor is beheaded, and you'll have restored 1 of the Pillars of Nosgoth.
Perhaps the head of her beloved will convince Ariel that I have accomplished my task.
Also, don't want to walk into the spot in the center there because the spikes are still there. But anyway, by heading to the north, we'll be able to leave. And we'll get ourselves another surprise. The mace.
The mace is amongst my most useful of weapons, for it merely stuns my victims, allowing me ample time to feed.
To switch between weapons, press Start, highlight the statue in the center so that it is purple, the one carrying the sword, press X,
Iron armor.
and you'll not only be able to choose your armor and your weapons, but you can also get descriptions of each with the circle
Iron
button.
Sword. Iron sword. Forged by the Cerioli, the legendary weapon masters of Nosgoth, this blade will serve me well in life and beyond. As it was born from hellfire, forged by the necromancer's magic, my armor resists fire and provides me with strong defense. Iron armor.
Alright, so we now have the descriptions for the iron armor and the iron sword.
Spiked mace.
And this is just known as the spiked mace. So the spiked mace, this not only gets equipped when we press X, just press X at the mace,
Spiked mace.
and if you look at Kain's portrait to the left, you'll notice that the sword has been replaced with the mace, which means you have this thing equipped now, which is a good thing. And I believe, yeah, you have the press square to back out. Also, if you go to the magical objects
Nupraptor's head. Nupraptor's head.
and look at Nupraptor's head, you can actually, well, you can equip it,
Nupraptor's head.
but if you press circle on Nupraptor's head,
Alas, poor Nupraptor, I knew him well. Well, not really.
you get a rather humorous description of Nupraptor's head. Let's just go ahead and press X, or rather press circle again to back out, and then
Nupraptor's head.
square to back out once more. And of course, the statue carrying the book is our magical spells. Let's go ahead and press Start to back out of this menu. And not only does the spike let you stun enemies, but you can also break these things known as menhirs. M-E-N-H-I-R. Once you break one, it stays broken. Also, these black chests, you have to hit them with the mace to open them. And it's a good thing we're doing that, because I want to get all this health back. And once you leave through the south, you'll turn back into bat form. You'll fly out of Nupraptor's retreat, and you will head back to the Pillars of Nosgoth. Once you're at the Pillars of Nosgoth, you'll get yourself some rather useful dialogue, and you'll also find out where you need to go next. In case you space out and don't listen, or if you just get the dialogue, well, you'll have a way of finding out how to get to where you need to go next anyway. Or at least be able to tell where you need to go next, and I'll explain that.
I placed Nupraptor's head before the Pillar of the Mind, and watched on as it dissolved into the stone. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored. Nupraptor was but the genesis. Forever tainted by his madness, the circle was beyond redemption. For them, absolution lay only in death. In me, they would find their deliverance. But first I had to defeat their shepherd. Malek, defender of the Nine, lay in a keep to the far north, past Vassabunt. It was time for me to test the wrath of the Pillar of Conflict.
Death in the circle breathes life to the pillars. For every pillar there is a token. Only with these shall they be restored. But to reach a warrior, you must first breach his ward. Find Malek and destroy him. Only then will the circle fall.
So we need to go far to the north to find Malik, the next target in the Circle of Nine that we need to defeat. If you go to the world map, Malik's Bastion is the next area that you need to go to. Let's go ahead and get out of this screen with the X button. And let us exit the select screen menu. Let's exit the in-game options. And I finally figured out how the the bat form works once you get to a beacon and you use it, or rather you use it at any time to get to a place where you need to go. So let's go in the bat form real quick, and I'll show some stuff off. So up and down lets you switch between all of the beacons that you have found and activated. You must activate a beacon in order for it to be used while in bat form. Left and right lets you go to the areas of very major interest that you need to go through in order to beat the game, such as Nupraptor's Retreat and the Pillars of Nosgoth. You do have to reach these areas in order to get to them. And I believe that when we reach Malik's Bastion, we will be able to go over there in bat form immediately as well. And using left and right also allows you to exit the world map while in bat form altogether. I need to go to Stenkencrow because, or maybe I need to, well, I think it's safer if we did it this way anyway. We're going to have a nice little stop over here at Stenkencrow, so that way we can refill our health if need be. And we can head further north of Stenkencrow, back into Wasserbund, so I can show off some secrets, which we will be doing in the next video. So join me next time where we explore Stenkencrow and Wasserbund a little more in order to find some secrets. Until then, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!